Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Pull Up Trade Podcast, the podcast hosted by myself, Samson Folk, co-hosted, I should say, and also co-hosted over there by Trevon Heath, the Trey that pulls up. We are coming to you with the Raptors at 6-5, coming up against the vaunted Cleveland Cavaliers, the healthy version of them,
Yeah.
and the Raptors are coming into this game 8th in offense, 7th in half-court offense, 13th in defense. The numbers still like them. A huge test ahead on the docket for today. A lot of talk about Brandon Ingram, some talk about Emmanuel Quickley, and previewing a very tough game against Cavaliers. Trey, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. The Raptors are 5-1 in the last 6 games. It's been great. For anyone that sees my hat in the comments, please leave me alone. From April to October, I have not worn this hat. It just happens to be worn this day. I'm a Blue Jays diehard. I will throw this in the trash April 1st.
Exactly. You know, it's
It's
just a hat. It's a
just
fashion
that.
thing.
Good
Um,
design.
my hat says brother. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're talking about the Raptors. They've been playing well, as you said, 5-1 in their last 6 games. I have a couple stats. They've maintained the trend lines of what they want to do. They still pressure the ball. They obviously want to do that.
Mhm.
They are fifth fastest crossing half court offensively after rebounds and inbounds. They want to advance the ball. They want to get up the court quick. They're only behind the Blazers, the Heat, the Grizzlies, and the Pacers. They've said before the season that they want to play fast. They've managed to do it. Their frequency in transition is sky high. They've been trending positively. They had a professional win against the Nets, I think, where
Yeah.
the guy
Handle
who
business.
stirs a lot of their second unit stuff, Sandro, wasn't available. And they just relied on some shot making, big time shot making from Emmanuel Quickley and Brandon Ingram, who has been stellar when it comes to shot making. The playmaking, maybe it's lagged behind a little bit. His
Mhm.
three-point shot right now is below 30%. Maybe that's lagging a bit. But you and I are here to talk about how Ingram has really elevated this Raptors half-court offense. I think he is the biggest reason why
Yeah.
they're
Yep.
seventh in half-court offense and why that has, every number we've looked at and talked about on these podcasts is like jumping up and down because other games are happening and rankings
Mhm.
change. But the Raptors have held a top 10 half court offense for like 4 straight games because they've been doing the thing. That's nice. What have you
It's very
noticed
good.
from Mr. Ingram?
His shot making is at the top of the league. It doesn't matter how much space that he's given if he can create separation. I know in the game yesterday he's still saying that his explosion still isn't there post ankle injury, but the way that he can sliver and generate good offense across the board is something that they were missing last year. And the fact that his efficiency has gone up even with the responsibility of having to essentially create from nothing is just an amazing sign for the Raptors. And you see it with every other player has slotted around him, and their efficiency has improved and their level of play has improved because they're in the right spot they need to be.
It kind of blows my mind that he would say the burst isn't quite there with the ankle because
Yeah.
the ankle was, if I recall, December 18th
Yeah.
of 2024. That for an ankle to linger that long, you dislocated your ankle.
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense for maybe you to say that surprises me that a sprain
Brain,
is
yeah.
bugging him that long. But I mean, BI is not a big talker. He's not like a big boisterous guy or anything. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's like doing the gas himself or save himself. Like, that's probably a very honest take. That's
Mhm.
that's tough that the ankles
Yeah.
bothered him that much for that long. A credit to him for coming back. So I have some fun stats. So I was noticing that the Raptors scored a ton on their sidelines out of bound plays. They're called slobs. Baseline out of bound
Mhm.
plays are called blobs, slobs, and blobs. There's a famous John Hollinger is a fan of the show, of course, but there's a very famous tweet of him naming somebody a slob wizard that went
Oh,
viral.
yeah.
John, I'm sorry to bring it up.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram is the slob wizard of the NBA so far, I'd like to say. So the top three in points per game out of slobs, or sorry, the top three in points per possession out of slobs is RJ Barrett, Nikola Jokic, and Brandon Ingram at 1.583, 1.563, and 1.545. Now, I went back and watched all of RJ's possessions, all of Jokic's possessions, and all of Ingram's possessions to kind of means test who's getting easy looks. RJ is the dive guy on of the Raptors,
Yeah.
after timeout plays. When Darko's using the pen, RJ is the guy diving to the rim who's available for these quick hit aheads, or quick hitters, I should say. And so he's getting like the easiest looks out of the group. Jokic is getting some of those quick pitches in. Jokic is one of the greatest players of all time. He's able to get his own buckets, of course. Brandon Ingram, there's not a lot of penmanship by Darko here. And I would love to be able to give Darko credit. I love giving coaches credit for what they draw up. But Brandon is basically just getting the ball, getting a look at who's guarding him, and scoring over the top. His shot diet of the guys who are creating with the coach's pen is by far the most difficult. And he is, when the Raptors, the ball comes to a rest and they're like, we got to get a bucket from a standstill. Who do we go to? Brandon Ingram, quite literally, not just in the half court overall, saving them, but when the ball comes to a rest and they say, we need to find something, they look his way. They look his way off. And even, I mean, some of these quick hitters that RJ has, it's he and Brandon running a split action where they overload on Brandon because they probably know he's making a killing out of slobs. So he's just been incredible. So you asked me for numbers regarding he and Kawhi, but before I give the numbers, I'd kind of tell me why you wanted them.
I think in just the way that they operate within the offense has been fairly similar. Like the Raptors, they use tons of actions to get their guys open, get them easy quality shots. But BI is the fulcrum that handles grenades. He's asked to create out of nothing and in isolated situations to help make those actions a lot more dangerous. Similar to 2019, where Kyle is orchestrating the other side of the court and Kawhi essentially is flowing in, whether that's off a curl, very simple action, and he's just scoring in bunches outside of the ecosystem of their offense. Ingram has done the same thing, and that mid-range shot has allowed them to basically like get whatever they want offensively, which has been like the biggest surprise all year.
Okay, so this harkens back to one of the first pieces I wrote during the championship season, which was Kawhi Leonard's sticky hands, is what I called it. Because I noticed early on in that season, I was like, as you just laid out, there is this weird trend where Kawhi seems to exist outside of the infrastructure a little bit and play in his own world as an isolationist. And that Kyle Lowry is driving this high octane, hit ahead, play fast offense, and that Kawhi steps in when needed. It's obviously Brandon is not Kawhi,
Yeah, of
and
course.
these Raptors are not the championship Raptors, but there are very strong similarities stylistically what we're looking at here. So I wanted to just have a comparison. So as we know, Brandon is the preeminent mid-range pull-up shooter in the NBA right now. Synergy has him at 59%. I think NBA.com has him at 60. I don't know where the discrepancy comes. I think that's an easy thing to track, but 59 or 60, both good. He's at 41 of 70. We talked about it last episode. You're looking for 45%. Guess who shot 45% on as a Raptor in their pull-up middies? Kawhi Leonard,
Well,
201 of 446. The volume is very similar to past seasons of Ingram with the Pelicans. Kawhi, through 11 games as a Raptor, averaging 24 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 48, 36, 87 splits for 58% true shooting. That is very similar to Brandon Ingram, who's averaging roughly 21, 6, 4, and he's doing it on just shy of 60% true shooting. Now, it's a different, 24 points in 2019 is a lot more impressive than 21 in 2025, of course.
yeah.
But just to make the case, stylistically, there's a lot of similarities here, not just in how, Brandon plays, but in how Scotty orchestrating fast, open court, themes and schemes is similar to what Kyle tried to do as well. There's a lot of stuff I could ask for from Brandon Ingram. The turnover to assist stuff, he's not been super sharp there. The defense, I'm still looking for quite a bit more. But as far as the, make something work in a matchbox, he's lighting that bitch on fire. He's lighting that bitch on fire.
That boy is cooking. That boy is cooking. He's honestly been incredible. And how it allows Scotty to be able to operate as a roller, maintain the middle of the floor, utilize his vision and passing. And we mentioned the last pod. Now that he has other options around him, he can reverse the ball the other way, and they can get a quality shot almost consistently, which is
Scotty's
just
ball reversals they've been good. They've been
they're
good
cooking.
this year.
And last game, they actually played guys that could shoot. So when you do that,
And they
when you
shot
do,
bad.
yeah, they did. RJ missed everything. But when you do that, the battle Gradey lineup had tons of spacing. He got an easy look because of that. So it you see all the mechanisms and ingredients of what a good offense could be. If the shooting holds, hopefully, they have a chance to do something special.
Yeah. What's can I get what is like special for this Raptor season for you?
If they won a round, I think that is like incredible. I
Yeah.
would be stunned.
If they win a round of the playoffs, I'm hooting and
Yeah.
hollering, man.
Yes.
Uh, I think that would be like great, great, great.
Yeah.
Special, I think, is like some crazy ass Eastern Conference Finals Trey Young style
It's,
run. That
it's
would
like
be
fire.
special. Yeah, that would be. I would
Yeah.
not have words
Yeah.
uh,
That's
to add on. So Ingram, he has the lowest field goal attempts in 6 years. This is his first time ever clearing 50% from the field. He is slumping from three currently at like 29.8%. That'll come around. He's never been that bad a shooter. He won't be. He has a career high 60% true shooting. It's because he's getting to the free throw line pretty healthy amount, and he's shooting like 90% from the free throw line. The Raptors are worse with him on the floor by the numbers. That happens for every single starter basically because the starter stacks
yeah.
they get whapped when they're out there. But even though they get whapped when they're out there, no matter what, their half court offense is still stronger when he's out there. He's been so consistent in what he's been able to provide. That is kind of the thing. When you look at this Raptors team that would have like these fun spurts last year, and Scotty would have these fun spurts as a creator, and RJ would have these nice little spurts as a creator, and Quickley would have these little spurts as a creator. You look at them and say, okay, I like seeing that, but none of them have been able to consistently imprint themselves upon the game. And Ingram has holes in his game, but what he does is provide a real floor for these other guys to pitch in around. And it means that the spurty aspect of these guys' games, it hurts a lot less. Now, this
Yeah.
team has to figure things out with their starting lineup. It really does. And we'll talk about Jakob probably having, oh, Christ, I don't know if it's going to be easy with the Cavs coming up. But especially with CMB, he's probably not going to play with his illness.
Yeah.
We'll see. But Ingram, I think, just hell of a job providing a floor for these other guys to tap in and do things around. He is, as we've said many times, the number one reason for the proficiency in the half court. That's a pretty good chunk on Ingram. Emmanuel Quickley, we'd be remiss to say go check out his interview with Hello and Welcome and enjoy his last three games: 21.3 points per game, 5.7 assists, 6.3 rebounds, 1.7 steals, 52, 46, 70 splits. Now, here's what you and I love: 8 3-point attempts per game. What have you thought? They're 2-1 in their last three. What have you thought of Quickly, the improved version of him?
It's exactly what you envisioned with Ingram being on the team. Him having an opportunity to put up as many threes as possible, him being able to run off actions, utilize his gravity, and that, like last night, easy roll for Jakob at the rim because of the gravity that he pulls when he moves around and is active within the actual offense. The rim stuff, you obviously still want more, and that hopefully should figure itself out as the 3-point shooting normalizes to what what it what it can be. But he from as a shooter, like in order for this offense to work, he needs to be one of the better shooters in the league, and he needs to act as though he is. And recently, especially in the fast break, he's taking shots above the break and putting real pressure on the defense. So the A plus execution offensively from what I've seen in the last 3 games.
I think he's also done a better job of attacking laterally closeouts because you know what? It's like we said in the last episode, he's second percentile in touching getting to the rim off of drives in the league, despite being, a somewhat high frequency driver. He drives a lot because he's a point guard in a spread offense, and he has Jakob Poeltl carving out big swaths of area for
Yeah.
him to attack, but he still can never touch the rim. So how should he be attacking? Probably not with the drive, probably sideways to keep his 3-point attempt alive. He's done a better job of that lately. He needs to, if they run if I'm a defense, I say run him off the line, and we're probably really happy about what comes after
Mhm.
because you trust your defense to kind of go like single coverage on him at the rim. And so he's not going to break you apart with passing. Now, where it gets tricky is if he moves sideways to keep his 3-point shot alive and you have to send a second defender, sending 2 guys to close out, then you can move the ball on. It's a better way for him to attack with his skill set. He's doing that better lately. We talked last episode, better job of keeping the ball alive, keeping his dribble
Mhm.
alive as well. The transition stuff, we talked about it too. There's still warts there,
Of
but
course.
he gets to eliminate a lot of these warts. Do you ever have a wart as a kid?
I don't think so. Did you?
I had one on my foot, and
Oh my
because
god.
they would give you like a wart. This is kind of gross, I guess. People don't listen to it, but you like freeze it. You use some sort of like thing.
Oh,
It's like shh. I don't remember really. I was like
Jesus.
7. Anyway, nobody wants to listen to this.
Yeah.
He's getting the warts off his game. And if he shoots threes, as Darko comes onto every single, post game, pre game, and says, "We believe in Quickley shooting. We just want him to keep shooting." Yeah. You and I at
Yeah.
no point complained about Emmanuel Quickley's 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
We've only ever complained that we're not seeing it enough. We complained about everything else. and and I still have complaints about other things. But you and I both said Emmanuel Quickley has a route to a great season if he
Yep.
just shoots the damn thing. The Raptors need it. We want them as a team to get their 3-point attempt rate up. We needed them to not just be reliant on guys like RJ and Scotty and CMB beating coverages and shooting over the top. They need guys who are real deal shooters to bang triples. Quickley has done very heavy lifting. Now, Darius Garland is not a vaunted defender, but he's very active and
Mhm.
he's pretty good at chasing on the perimeter. I wonder how that goes. Donovan Mitchell, he's not very active defensively. He is kind of given that up. If Quickley can go 4 games in a row of pretty good play, it's going to give the Raptors a much better shot. Do you have any other thoughts on the Raptors point guard before we move on to previewing a game against a very tough Cavs team?
Yeah. I just think overall, like his playmaking will pop as well as the 3-point shooting gets there overall. Like uh, offensively in the half court, they've relied a lot more on like Scotty to facilitate and do some of that stuff. Ingram when he sees a double and is being isolated, but if he can kill closeouts and flip the ball the other way in that fashion too, because of his shooting and the gravity he pulls from there, like it adds an extra wrinkle to the Raptors offense. It makes it a lot better. And if they play guys that can shoot on the other side, it makes things a lot easier.
Actually, before we talk Cavs, because both these guys will figure into it a little bit, I think this is the podcast people come for probably for Gradey commentary. We'll talk a little bit about Jameson as well. A quick note: we argue for the value of Grady's game in the unseen things all the time and try and bring them to light. I will say though, after 0-4 last night, everyone's allowed to miss shots. The Raptors didn't shoot well as a team, but nothing Grady does, and I'm still a believer in the shot, but nothing he does, all the in between stuff, the better than you think defense, but still not good, still not average, none of that matters if he doesn't shoot the 3 ball well
1,000%.
and above average. Grady just won't be able to hang in the league. So, all this unearthing we do to say, like, this is potential, this is survival, this is all that kind of stuff, if he doesn't hit threes, none of it matters. And he's supposed to hit threes. He was drafted to hit threes. And the other stuff is supposed to come around. The other stuff has come around a little bit. The threes got to drop in. Jameson Battle, I just wrote my piece on him. What did you think of a little bit more extended minutes? And what do you think of him going back against the Cavaliers after he gamed them, dude? 20 points, 7 to 7 shooting.
Yeah. I think it's deserved. This whole season is about figuring out who are the guys that are going to be coming along this like uphill climb for the East, and like he hasn't got an opportunity despite his play being warranting it. So you already see in the lineups when he does play, teams cannot sag off of him. It makes things significantly easier. It's why minutes with him go fairly well. And the defense, like he has active feet. It's not as though the Raptors aren't playing other people that are getting killed on the wing as well. So I've been impressed with his level of play and activity defensively, and like his 3-point shot right now is the best amongst the league. So
How does 75% sound from downtown?
I like it a lot. I don't even consider him missing when he gets a corner three. It just is assuming it's going to be a bucket. So if he can be able to stay on the floor defensively, he should be a fixture in the rotation. There's no reason why Ochai Abaji, even Jacoby Walter, even though I love him, should be playing if they can't contribute offensively. So I like for him to get more minutes.
I'm waiting on it. And I wrote this in the piece, but part of it's political. Politics of draft slot, of contract, of agencies, it plays a factor into minutes in the NBA.
Yep.
No ifs, ands, or buts. And here's the thing. Jacoby Walter, there's a reason before the season I said that I thought year 2 isn't the year for him to pop, that it would be year 3 because there's so much politics ahead of him and he would have to play so well to leap over those politics. And while I like him, I don't think he'll play that well. Ochai Baji is up for contract. Grady
Yep.
Dick is up for extension. Jamison Battle is on a cheap contract that's guaranteed next year. He's a known quantity. He's
Mhm.
completely unflappable. He came into the league and what does he do? He's behind the 8 ball. He's not one of the prioritized two-way guys. So, he plays better and he steals a two-way. And then he's not a prioritized contract guy. So what's he do? He plays better and he gets a full contract. Guys are ahead of him because of priority. He could still outplay them and he may very well. I'm interested to see how much he plays against these Cavs because, as you said, the defense, it's not bad. He'll never be a big defensive playmaker.
Yeah.
He is a guy who wants to contain.
Yep.
But you know what? The Raptors, they got a lot of guys who want to play make defensively on this roster. A little bit of contain isn't so bad. He's pretty big. He's big for a shooter of his caliber, actually.
Mhm.
He's not like a 6'2" guard who's a heat pump. He's 6'7" or 6'6", He's like 220 pounds. He can hang in. And as you said, the feet are good. Jamison Battle, I'm interested to see. Do you want to preview this daggum game against the Cavaliers?
Finally, a team that's worth the word wanted. Holy.
If they win this game to go 7-5, baby, I'm feeling a
We're
type of
here.
way.
Yeah.
So, just to set the table here, the Cavs are very good spotting up. They're very good scoring with their pick and roll ball handlers. If that sounds accurate to a team that has great creating guards and shooters around, yes. They are also going to be a team that, not similar to last time, probably won't have any trouble taking away the paint. They're going to play bigger. The Raptors are back in the land of the Giants. How do you think this matches up? Like, I firstly, let me say, Jakob really figured it out as the game went along last night.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been like, it seems like he gets warm for the second half after being stiff in first halves because the back thing is clearly still a factor.
Yeah.
I am so concerned about the rolling of Allen and Mobley while also trying to contain the rapid burst and shot creation of both Garland and Mitchell. I don't know, man. How do you feel about that?
I don't think there's a team in the NBA that like the Raptors like match up worse with. Honestly, just considering the warts on their team, which is corralling ball handlers, stopping the ball at the point of attack, and then rebounding and then defending other bigs because of their lack of size. The Cavs have that with both of their guards. They can operate out pick and roll. They can shoot off ball. They work off of each other. Their bigs both rebound the hell out of the ball. Mobley can put the ball on the floor, so you need to be able to defend him and pick him up. So it makes things extremely difficult. Like if the Raptors are going to win, they're going to just need to be playing. They just need to have a great shooting game, and then also their pace is they need to play fast enough where there aren't in many half court settings. So the Cavs, because of their rim protection, Mobley sliding over to an Ingram isolation is a lot different than Noah Clowney. It just is. So they're going to need to be able to rebound the ball, get stops, get in transition quickly because on the wing the Cavs are a lot weaker. And if you can get guys like Scotty, RJ downhill in transition a lot faster, it will help. It's one of the reasons why OG Anunoby killed them every time they played. There's just a spot that they're weaker in. So it's tough, but I think it's not impossible.
They are rated as the number 10 defense and number 10 offense and number 10 in point differential so far this season. Some of that is coming without, like, Strus isn't playing. Ty Jerome, neither of us rated him that highly.
Yeah.
He's moved on. And Strus being injured obviously matters. Strus is good, man. Strus is damn good. Garland is on a minutes restriction and clearly isn't all the way back. He's shooting like 30 something percent from the field. He's not been very strong, but his foot was all messed up. You know, it's going to take him a little while, especially for a guard who's reliant on burst. There's a chance that Garland puts up a stinker and that Quickley doesn't get really overextended. Defensively, though, I'm just like, who the hell is guarding this backcourt? Does that make who are they? Do you think they go with Scotty on one of the guys, or is it the Scotty Mobley matchup again?
Yeah, if CMB was playing, it would make things a lot easier in terms of covering ground. But you kind of have there is no big on the roster that can guard Evan Mobley just because of his length, mobility. So you have to put Scotty on him. I think what they'll likely do is they'll again press high, try to get the ball out of guys' hands, and then be able to use Scotty to scramble and fill those gaps. But
RJ Barrett is probably lining up across from Donovan Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so RJ is going to have effort. He always has effort on ball. It's the off ball where he loses some of the like, oh, maybe I lost the plot a little bit. Ingram on Hunter.
Yeah.
Scotty on Mobley. I think the big thing that happens here is you hope for Darius to not be very sharp, for Quickley to hold his own. And on top of that, you probably send a lot of attention at Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, and you say, like, pass, pass, pass.
Yeah.
And to beat this team, you probably need a real stinker from downtown from them, because you can't let them beat you in the paint, because that's the first thing they want to get to. They want to get you to overload on the guards. They want to have a killing with Allen and Mobley. And if you say, like, you know what, Jakob, we're not going to ask you to overextend yourself tonight. Stay quite central to the basket. We'll see how it goes. I wonder if you just look at a team that is a tough matchup for you and say, we're hoping on some 3-point variants. We're hoping we can ask our wings to crash. Brandon Ingram, Quickley, RJ, get back in here and crash. And we hope that DeAndre Hunter doesn't have it up to snuff with Brandon. And we hope that we can play fast. And we hope that Scotty hits threes over the top. Like, there is a blueprint here. It's just not an entirely easy blueprint. This Cavs team, how many games did they win last year? It was 60 plus, yes, but wasn't it like 68 or something?
Yeah.
Were they that good? I mean, you look that up. I'll keep thinking. But their expected wins this year.
They won 64.
64, that's right. This is a team that rebounds really well on offense, that doesn't turn over the ball very well, and they haven't shot the ball super well this year. We're waiting around on that. Also, we get a little bit of Mobley Scotty to reignite that. Does that interest you at all? Two Jamaican boys.
Yeah, they're gonna lead us to a medal. But you could tell, like with Scotty, with those type of matchups, it's like Mobley, Paolo Banchero, he gets really up for those games. So hopefully that leads to like better performance. But the Cavs, they're a great team. Like if they don't make the finals this year, like it was a tragedy. Everything was all for naught. They're in line with some of the best teams in the league.
They should be. And they should
Yeah.
have a shot if they get to the finals. Now, a lot of this is dependent on a small but brilliant guard in Darius being healthy for that run. I
Yep.
wonder, and also Donovan, he keeps getting older. He has to play a lot of basketball. He has to do a lot of stuff every year. Uh, but the Cavs are great. Yes, they have a fantastic roster. Kenny has them playing, I think, really fun basketball. Shout out to the Cavs. I think they understand basketball really well. They try to play to their strengths, and I wonder how they do in the playoffs this year, which they will definitely be in. I do hope that they play a real stinker tomorrow night, though, or
Me
tonight for
too.
the people who are listening. If they go up 7-5, I'm sick of going 1 up back to 500, 1 up back to 500. Although, you know what I did? I went and I looked at their next 3. You want to do this with me?
Yeah,
I
let's do
went
it.
and looked, or not their next 3. This will be the last thing we do on the podcast. I'm not predicting they win against the Cavs, although I would
Yeah.
love it. I tell you what, though, I think when I was looking at their schedule after the Cavs, the next 10 games, I said 7-3, just mindlessly going through it. Now, right? Does that sound exciting to you?
Oh,
Okay.
I'm pumping my
So,
chest.
okay, let's go one by one. The next 10 games. So Cavaliers, I don't think they'll win. They'll probably be at 6-6. But if they're at 7-5, oh baby, I'm losing my brains.
Yeah.
Saturday, Pacers. That's a win for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Monday, Hornets. That's a win for me.
Agreed.
76ers. Wednesday. That's a win for me because Joel Embiid, I don't think, is factoring into that game.
Yeah.
Wizards. Win for me.
Yeah, I'm there.
Nets. Win for me.
Yeah. Thank God for the schedule makers. Oh man.
Cavaliers, loss.
Yeah.
Pacers, win. Hornets, win. Knicks, loss. That's like, I think that is how it goes if they're better than the teams that they're better than. The only ones I could see, like the Hornets could take something. The 76ers, of course, could take something. Maybe the Pacers, since they're finally getting healthy again, just in time for the Raptors, good Lord. But they were healthy last night and they got trounced by the Jazz. What do you think? It's pretty easy this next stretch. The Raptors could really make a statement here.
No, I think it's pretty doable. Like, so some of the because of their talent level, I don't think they particularly played great against Brooklyn. Obviously, they
No.
kind of played down to their talent, but they're good enough where, again, BI can have 3 minutes of brilliance and they're up 8 or 9 and they win the game. The Raptors just never had that level of talent or that cushion to do that. So they can pull out wins against the Hornets playing even average. Against the Sixers, if it wasn't a back-to-back, they might have won that game too because they were able to claw back into that game and they just didn't have the juice towards the end. So I think it's very doable, man.
There's also the back-to-back in this stretch is the Cavs. So they play the Nets and then they play the Cavs. That's fine because you're probably losing the Cavs anyway. We'll get a good look at it, tonight. But yeah, they can, like, that 12-8 that I wanted for their first 20 games. That's, it's not exactly like easy, but it's there. There is a path.
Yeah, you're looking and kind of how the East is shaking, like a top 5 seed is like up for grabs.
Yep.
I don't think there's 7 good teams in the Eastern Conference right now. So, they have a chance to shoot really high and be up there to have an opportunity to win a round.
I tell you what I'm waiting on. December 7th, Sunday matinee versus the Celtics. I really want them to beat the Celtics. That's an important game.
Yeah.
Because all the Celtics fans called me a dumbass for saying that the Raptors were better than the Celtics. So I need that one, man. Oh. They might be like in the NBA Cup when it comes time. That would be a really fun thing.
That would be fun. Would you go to Vegas?
No.
Yeah.
Once a year in Vegas is a lot, man. That's a crazy city. And like as if there's anything crazy going on there. We just hung out and we went like climbing in the mountains, you know, in Red
Yeah.
Rock. But anyways, we're basically just reading the schedule and going, "Oh, good, bad."
Yeah.
It's not very compelling. You have one last chance to compel the listeners. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Again, prayers to Jamaica. Support however you can. The Raptors we're doing all right, and they're doing the best they can as well.
Hell yeah. Shout out to everyone doing the best they can.
Yes.
And yeah, that's a podcast, probably, everybody. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Pull Up Trey Podcast. We're still climbing. We're still doing our thing.
Yes, sir.
Bald Don't Lie will be back this week talking about the Raptors, the same as Trey and I do, but with a slightly different, we'll be appealing to Lewis's worldview for about an hour. So
I
thank
I
you to
love
go
it.
ahead.
Can I just say, you guys coming together? It's like Magneto and Professor X. It's two worlds colliding. We only before us mere mortals, we're only getting it at the end of the season. Just a recap, but now we're getting the whole thing. It's been great.
So let me flip this to you. You know who Magneto and Professor X were based off of, right?
I don't know.
Which is kind of crazy, don't you think?
It
They're
is.
like,
It's. I don't think Magneto's a good depiction of Malcolm X personally. But
it's a very liberal depiction of Malcolm X, I would say.
yeah.
But it was kind of funny when I was given this information when I'm like 15. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. This guy is more hardline. This guy seems more peaceful, which is what, you know, a white kid gets
Yeah.
taught about those two. Then you learn more and you're like, I'm not sure this is flattering for anybody involved. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're like, just even the urge to be like, these guys are actually Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Why do you have that urge? Why would you have that?
Ooh,
Anyway, that's a podcast.
that is.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Let us know what Raptors are like, what historical political figures in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hype, all that good stuff from myself and Trey. Enjoy the concert. And whether you got into this in the morning or at night, have a blessed day and goodbye.